In the depths of the Kuiper Belt, Commander Jessica Walsh stood at the observation deck of Earth's most advanced space telescope facility, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing something impossible. Three sleek vessels, far beyond human engineering capabilities, were methodically mapping the outer edges of our solar system. They thought they were undetectable. They were wrong. Confirmation on the decrypt, Commander. Lieutenant Patel's voice crackled through the comm. The signals matched the patterns we detected from the Ross 128 incident. Same origin, the galactic hegemony. Walsh's expression remained neutral, but her hand tightened on the railing. For 15 years, Earth had intercepted fragments of alien communications, piecing together the truth about humanity's place in the galaxy. We weren't alone, and we weren't safe. Send the Alpha Protocol signal to command, Walsh ordered. But maintain our automated civilian broadcast patterns. Let's keep playing primitive. Across Earth's major cities, life continued as usual. Civilians went about their daily routines, unaware that beneath the surface of normalcy, humanity's greatest deception was in motion. Deep underground, in facilities scattered across every continent, the truth was different. In the Himalayan complex, Dr. Marcus Rivera studied the latest data from the hegemony ships. Their technology was advanced, yes, but predictable. Like most ancient civilizations, the hegemony had stopped innovating centuries ago, relying on their established technological superiority to maintain control. They're scanning for fusion signatures, Rivera reported to the Global Defense Council, looking for standard development markers. They expect us to follow the same technological path as every other species they've encountered. Director Kira Yamamoto, head of Earth's Unified Defense Initiative, smiled grimly. Then let's give them exactly what they expect to see. Authorized full implementation of Project Mockingbird. Across the solar system, carefully crafted evidence of a struggling civilization appeared. Primitive satellites, clumsy mining operations on Mars, and crude attempts at terraforming, all designed to paint a picture of a species centuries away from being a threat. But in hidden facilities on Europa, beneath the ice sheets of Antarctica, and in the caves of Mars, humanity's real technological progress continued. Ships with hybrid drives combining human innovation with reverse-engineered alien tech were built in underground factories. Weapons that defied hegemony combat doctrine were tested in pocket dimensions, their energy signatures masked by quantum shielding. The hegemony's scout ships reported back to their superiors. Another primitive civilization, following the predictable path to the stars. Easy prey for their standard peaceful integration protocol, the same protocol that had absorbed countless civilizations into their empire. They never thought to look deeper. Never considered that the radio leaks they detected were carefully crafted. Never wondered why Earth's visible defenses seemed so obviously positioned. The hegemony saw what they expected to see, what humanity wanted them to see. 6 months later, Admiral Velen of the Hegemony Expeditionary Force reviewed the scout reports with satisfaction. Another standard acquisition, he told his command staff. Their technology level indicates they'll be suitable for basic labor roles within the Empire. Prepare the integration fleet. But in his private quarters, Junior Analyst Trell studied the human broadcasts with growing unease. Something felt wrong. The patterns were too perfect, too predictable. He drafted a report suggesting caution, noting subtle inconsistencies in Earth's development timeline. The report was ignored. The hegemony hadn't faced real resistance in 10,000 years. They had no reason to expect it now. On Earth, Commander Walsh received word of the approaching integration fleet. Right on schedule, she sent a single encoded message to every hidden facility across the solar system. Initiation Protocol Alpha. They took the bait. In that moment, humanity's greatest performance reached its final act. As the hegemony ships approached with their practiced speeches of peace and protection, they remained unaware that every word, every tactic, every response had been anticipated and prepared for over decades. The trap was set. Humanity had spent generations preparing for this moment, building their strength in secret while presenting an image of weakness. Now, as the hegemony integration fleet approached Earth, they were about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating human ingenuity. The first phase of humanity's plan was complete. The enemy was coming, confident and unprepared, just as we had planned, just as we had prepared for. The real war was about to begin, and only one side knew it was coming. Deep beneath the Mariana Trench, Admiral James Harrison walked through the gleaming halls of Facility Omega, humanity's most advanced weapons development center. Holographic displays showed the approaching hegemony fleet, 50 ships strong, arranged in their typical diamond formation. Predictable, just like everything else about them. Status report on the Ghost Protocol, Harrison commanded, entering the central command sphere where hundreds of Earth's brightest minds coordinated humanity's defense preparations. Dr. Olivia Jong, head of quantum engineering, stepped forward. Her team had spent the last decade perfecting technology that would have seemed like magic even 20 years ago. Phase shift generators are at 100% efficiency. When they power up their sensors, they'll see exactly what we want them to see. On screens around the sphere, images showed Earth's careful deception. The hegemony would detect primitive missile silos, basic energy shields, and early warning systems, all carefully crafted to appear just threatening enough to justify their peaceful intervention, but not advanced enough to pose any real threat. What they wouldn't see were the quantum-shifted facilities on every continent, the nanotech defense grid spanning the entire solar system, or the thousands of stealth ships hidden in dimensional pockets throughout the asteroid belt. Humanity had learned well from studying hegemony transmissions, not just their technology, but their psychology. Infiltration units report success, announced Colonel Diana Patel, head of Special Operations. Our agents have successfully integrated into 17 key hegemony worlds. They're positioned exactly where we need them when this goes hot. Harrison nodded. For 30 years, Earth had sent specially trained operators into hegemony space, disguised as refugees from frontier worlds. They lived among the enemy, learned their weaknesses, and waited for the signal to act. In orbit around Jupiter, Director Thomas Okoro supervised the final testing of humanity's secret weapon, the Nexus Array. Power signature masking is holding, he reported via quantum link. They're scanning Jupiter's moons right now. All they're seeing is natural radiation. The Nexus Array was humanity's masterpiece, a synthesis of stolen hegemony tech and human innovation that broke every rule of conventional space warfare. It wasn't elegant, it wasn't refined, but it would work, and that's all that mattered. Message from the hegemony flagship, announced Communications Officer Lisa Chen. Standard first contact package. They're staying right on script. Harrison allowed himself a small smile. Send the prepared response. Full submissive protocol. Let's make them feel nice and superior. Across Earth's cities, carefully orchestrated scenes played out. Military units performed clumsy drills with outdated equipment. Scientists made breakthrough discoveries that were centuries behind hegemony technology. Government leaders acted appropriately awed by the aliens' arrival. Meanwhile, in hidden bunkers and secret facilities, humanity's real military prepared for war. Soldiers trained in simulators using real hegemony combat data. Engineers made final adjustments to weapons designed specifically to exploit enemy weaknesses. Quantum computers processed vast amounts of intelligence data, refining battle strategies. They're launching their diplomatic shuttle, Chen reported. Full complement of hidden weapons, just as expected. Harrison watched the shuttle's approach on the main display. Time to give our guests a proper welcome. Execute Protocol Mirage. Across Earth's surface, holographic projectors activated, showing the hegemony exactly what they wanted to see. A primitive species scrambling to respond to first contact. Military units rushed around ineffectively. Communication networks filled with panicked chatter. Defensive systems powered up in obvious, easily monitored ways. In the hegemony shuttle, Ambassador Vex watched the humans' response with smug satisfaction. "Look at them," he told his aide. "Exactly like the reports predicted. This will be another standard integration." But in a quantum-shifted dimension just meters away, humanity's real response was anything but standard. Stealth ships moved into position. Weapon systems warmed up. Strike teams prepared for deployment. "Final status check," Harrison commanded. Around the command sphere, department heads reported in. Quantum shields at full capacity. Nexus array primed and synchronized. Strike teams in position. Ghost protocol maintaining coverage. Infiltration units standing by. Harrison took a moment to appreciate the magnitude of what humanity had achieved. While the hegemony saw a primitive species ripe for conquest, humanity had built something unprecedented. A military force designed from the ground up to defeat an enemy that didn't even know it was in danger. The hegemony believes they're about to begin their standard integration protocol, Harrison addressed his staff. Instead, they're about to learn why humanity has survived every challenge we've ever faced. We adapt, we innovate, and most importantly, we never fight fair. As the hegemony diplomatic shuttle descended toward the designated landing zone, Harrison sent one final message to all Earth forces. Remember your training. Remember the plan. And remember, they started this war the moment they decided Earth would be an easy target. We're going to show them just how wrong they were. The trap was nearly ready to spring. Humanity's greatest deception was about to become the hegemony's worst nightmare. The hegemony diplomatic shuttle landed in a carefully prepared zone outside Geneva, kicking up dust as its anti-gravity drives powered down. Ambassador Vex emerged, resplendent in ceremonial robes, flanked by guards trying to conceal their weapons. Before them stood Earth's hastily assembled Welcome Committee, led by UN Secretary-General Richard Okonjo. In orbit, Admiral Harrison watched the scene unfold through quantum-linked feeds. All units, maintain position. Wait for the signal. The ambassador's voice boomed across the landing zone. People of Earth, the galactic hegemony offers you protection and guidance. Your world will be integrated into our glorious empire, elevated from your primitive state. Now, Harrison commanded. In an instant, the greatest military deception in human history revealed itself. The quantum shields masking Earth's true capabilities dropped. The primitive Welcome Committee shimmered and vanished. Holograms, all of them. And from dimensional pockets across the solar system, humanity's real fleet emerged. Ambassador Vex's speech faltered as his shuttle's sensors screamed warnings. Where moments before there had been nothing, now thousands of ships appeared. Not the crude vessels they detected earlier, but advanced warships combining hegemony tech with human innovation. "Impossible," Vex whispered. Commander Sophia Nazarian's voice broadcast across all frequencies, in perfect hegemony standard. "This is Earth Defense Force. Your scans have been wrong. Your intelligence has been wrong. Everything you think you know about us is wrong. You have 30 seconds to surrender." The hegemony fleet responded exactly as predicted. They opened fire. Their weapons, designed to overwhelm primitive planetary defenses, met something entirely different. Earth's quantum shields didn't just block their attacks. They absorbed the energy and redirected it. "All units, execute Battle Plan Omega," Harrison ordered. "Show them what humanity can do." Earth's fleet moved with devastating precision, while hegemony ships maintained rigid formations perfected over millennia. Human vessels danced through space in patterns that defied conventional tactics. Each movement had been practiced countless times in simulation, designed specifically to exploit hegemony combat doctrine. From the Jupiter shadow, Director Okoro activated the Nexus array. Quantum-entangled beams lanced out, not targeting the hegemony ships directly, but rather creating localized space-time distortions that their sensors couldn't process. Their automated targeting systems, designed to handle standard combat scenarios, began to fail. "This is impossible," Admiral Velen of the Hegemony fleet raged as another squadron of his ships went dark. They're primitives. They can't have this technology. But humanity didn't just have technology. They had innovation. While the Hegemony relied on proven weapons and tactics, Earth's forces deployed systems that broke every rule of conventional warfare. Nanoswarms disabled Hegemony shields from within. Quantum torpedoes phased through hull armor before detonating. AI-driven combat drones adapted their attack patterns faster than Hegemony commanders could respond. On 17 Hegemony worlds, humanity's infiltration units activated simultaneously. Communication networks crashed. Defense grids went offline. Supply lines collapsed. The mighty empire found itself fighting an enemy that had spent decades preparing for this exact moment. Second wave, deploy, Harrison commanded. From Mars orbit, a new fleet emerged, smaller ships, faster and more maneuverable than anything in the Hegemony arsenal. They carried weapons specifically designed to target the weaknesses humanity had discovered in Hegemony technology. Ambassador Vex, watching from his shuttle as his escort ships were systematically disabled, activated his emergency transmitter. This was a trap. He broadcast to the Hegemony capital. They knew we were coming. They've known about us for. The transmission cut off as quantum jammers activated. Earth wasn't just winning the battle. They were controlling what information reached the broader Hegemony. Every defeat, every loss, every demonstration of human superiority was being recorded and packaged for later distribution throughout the Empire. Status report, Harrison demanded. Hegemony fleet is at 60% combat effectiveness and falling, Nazarian reported. Our casualties are within projected parameters. Ghost Protocol is maintaining coverage of secondary defense systems. Nexus Array performing above expectations. In the command sphere, Dr. Zhang monitored the performance of Earth's hybrid technology. Their shields can't adapt to our quantum attacks. They've never seen anything like this. Their combat computers are trying to apply standard protocols to weapons that shouldn't exist. The battle wasn't just a victory, it was a message. Every destroyed Hegemony ship, every failed tactic, every successful human innovation demonstrated one clear truth. Humanity would not be conquered. We would not be integrated. We would not submit. Final phase, Harrison ordered. Show them the consequences of underestimating Earth. The Nexus Array powered up to full capacity, creating a quantum field that encompassed the entire battle space. Inside that field, the laws of physics bent to human will. Hegemony weapons failed. Their engines sputtered. Their mighty ships, the pride of an empire that had dominated the galaxy for 10,000 years, hung helpless in space. Admiral Velen received the transmission in his flagship's command center. It was short, precise, and terrifying. This was a demonstration. We could have destroyed your entire fleet. Remember that when you report back to your superiors. Earth is not your prey. We are not primitive. And if you ever threaten us again, what you've seen today will seem mild in comparison. The Hegemony fleet retreated in disorder, leaving behind disabled ships and shattered certainties. They had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they had walked into a trap generations in the making, sprung by a species that had turned deception into an art form. In the aftermath, Harrison addressed his command staff. Phase 3 is complete. Now we prepare for their response. They won't accept this defeat easily, but that's exactly what we're counting on. The real war was just beginning, but humanity had shown the galaxy something it hadn't seen in 10,000 years. The Hegemony could be beaten, and Earth was just getting started. Empire's desperation. The Hegemony High Council chamber erupted in chaos as Admiral Velen's report concluded. The massive holographic display showed Earth's devastation of their integration fleet, a defeat unprecedented in 10,000 years of Imperial history. Deploy the Annihilation Fleet, First Speaker Xerxen demanded, his scaled skin flushing dark with rage. Show these upstart primitives the true might of the Hegemony. But Supreme Commander Kilax, veteran of 1,000 campaigns, raised a cautionary hand. The humans knew our tactics before we arrived. They knew our technology. They'd been watching us, learning from us, preparing for us. This was not luck. This was strategy. Across hegemony space, the Empire mobilized for total war. The Annihilation Fleet, 10,000 ships strong, gathered for the assault on Earth. But even as they prepared, human infiltrators were at work. Supply lines mysteriously failed. Critical systems developed inexplicable faults. Strategic data became corrupted. On Earth, Admiral Harrison reviewed the intelligence reports with grim satisfaction. They're reacting exactly as predicted. Commence Operation Shadowfall. Before the Hegemony Fleet could launch their attack, humanity struck first. Not at their military targets, but at their confidence. Quantum-shifted broadcasts pierced their communications networks, showing the recent battle from multiple angles. Every hegemony world saw their invincible fleet defeated by the very primitives they'd come to conquer. More broadcasts followed, showing human technological advancement, military preparations, and most devastatingly, recordings of hegemony leaders dismissing warnings about Earth's capabilities. The empire that had ruled through fear and perceived superiority found its own populations questioning everything they'd been taught. The Annihilation Fleet launched its assault, but they were attacking a phantom. Earth's quantum shields and dimensional shifting technology had evolved beyond anything the hegemony could track. Their massive fleet found only empty space where Earth's solar system should have been. Then humanity's counterattack began, not with brute force, but with surgical precision. Key hegemony command nodes went dark. Strategic fleet formations found themselves trapped in quantum fields that turned their own weapons against them. Human ships appeared and disappeared at will, striking from dimensional pockets that hegemony sensors couldn't detect. This isn't war, Supreme Commander Kalax realized too late. This is a demonstration of inevitable defeat, dawn of a new era. In the hegemony capital, as the Annihilation Fleet's destruction was confirmed, First Speaker Xerxon faced a truth no leader had confronted in 10 millennia. The Empire could lose. Not just a battle, but everything. A transmission cut through all hegemony frequencies. Admiral Harrison's image appeared before the High Council. You've lost 2 fleets now. Your military secrets are compromised. Your populations are questioning your rule. But we're not interested in destroying you. He paused, letting the words sink in. Humanity doesn't want your empire. We don't want your worlds. We want something you've forgotten exists. Cooperation between equals. Supreme Commander Kalax stepped forward. You could have destroyed us completely. Why didn't you? Because that's not who we are, Harrison replied. Humanity has fought countless wars among ourselves. We've learned the hard way that true victory isn't about destruction. It's about building something better from the conflict. In the following weeks, as peace negotiations began, the galaxy witnessed something unprecedented. The hegemony, which had only known conquest and submission for 10,000 years, learned about cooperation. Human innovation began flowing into hegemony systems, not through force, but through trade. Worlds that had only known imperial rule discovered the possibility of autonomy while maintaining peaceful relations. 1 year later, in the same council chamber where the war had been declared, Admiral Harrison and Supreme Commander Kalax signed the Terra Hegemony Concordat. It established Earth as an independent power, created demilitarized zones, and most importantly, opened the way for cultural and technological exchange. Your victory wasn't just military, Kalax admitted to Harrison after the ceremony. You showed us a different way to exist. Our empire was perfect, unchanging. And because of that, we were dying without realizing it. Harrison watched ships from Earth and the hegemony dock at the newly constructed Unity Station. That's humanity's greatest strength. We never stop changing, never stop innovating. We survive because we adapt. Across the galaxy, a new era dawned. The hegemony learned to evolve rather than merely rule. Earth shared its innovations while maintaining its independence. Other worlds, inspired by humanity's example, began charting their own courses while maintaining peaceful relations with both powers. In Earth's unified command center, Admiral Harrison addressed the Planetary Council one final time. "We achieved something greater than victory," he declared. "We proved that innovation, preparation, and wisdom can overcome any obstacle. But most importantly, we showed that humanity's greatest strength isn't our ability to win wars. It's our ability to forge peace from conflict." A new chapter in galactic history had begun. The hegemony had learned about change. Humanity had found its place among the stars, and the galaxy had witnessed something remarkable. A war where the greatest victory came not from destruction, but from transformation. As Earth's quantum ships patrolled alongside reformed hegemony cruisers, their crews shared a common understanding. The universe was vast and full of challenges, but together, they could face whatever came next. Humanity had not just survived its greatest test, it had created something entirely new from it. The message echoed across the stars. Never underestimate humans, not for their ability to fight, but for their capacity to turn enemies into allies and conflicts into opportunities for growth.